Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 116. The album that I'll be reviewing today is Tribe Called Quest's second album, Law and Theory, released in 1991. You guys should know who Law and Theory is. I did a review on their first album, People, Instinctive Travels, and Passive Rhythms, and I did an album review on their Midnight Marauders. If you haven't peeped those, definitely check that out. Just go on my channel, type in Tribe Called Quest, and they should pop up. But anyways, like I said, they released this first album, which I believe, in my opinion, very underrated. You know, it definitely has like a cult following. You know what I mean? But you know, a lot of people, like I said, it does have a cult following. A lot of people are finally starting to appreciate the album for what it is. But anyways, right after the album, they started working on this album, and they came out with this joint right here. All right. I believe right after this album came out, Shortie, you know, had left the group. I think he went for school or some shit like that. I think like culinary school. I don't remember what it was. I forgot what it was, but he left the group. But he was still part of the group, but he just wasn't in the group. That makes sense. Alright. There's a couple of singles off the album, and they are Check the Rhyme, Jazz We've Got, and Scenario. Those are the three singles off the album. And if you wanna count Buggin out, but even though Buggin out was like more like, you know, like the yeah, I guess you could put Buggin out too. But realistically, Check the Rhyme, Jazz We've Got, and Scenario. Those are the singles off the album. Alright, that's what the album looks like. Pretty dope. Got like a naked woman painted and stuff like that. Open it up. That's what the album looks like. CD. This is a regular black case. See the back. Alright, open it up. Open it up. You see Tribe with 3. Like I said, by that time Shortie had left the group. So, but yeah, you see Q-Tip, Fife, Ali Shahi Muhammad. You see them two just posing right there. You know how I get down. I'm gonna go through some of the tracks, you know, just explain what the songs are about. Alright. Track 1, Excursions. Very dope song to me, kind of sets the tone of the album. Has like a really nice jazzy bass line going on with it. You know, he talks about how you know, just how he's brought up, you know, like how the first verse is pretty much about how he's brought up, and like kind of like try to introduce his pops to like hip hop, and just said how like it reminded him of bebop, jazz, and stuff like that. You know, just them going out. It's just doing their thing. I really like how that album started out. Like I said, it sets the tone of the album. Track 2, Buggin Out, just dumb. This is going in on the mic. Very, very dope. To me, I think Five had the best verse in the track. That's just my opinion. Like that's one, and then that's another thing with this album that, you know, Five, he's a lot more vocal compared to the first album, because the first album he kind of had a couple verses here and there, but he wasn't as vocal as he was in this album. In this album, he actually shines. That's one good thing about this album. Like one of the good things about this album. Bugging Out, like I said, to me, I think Five had the best verse in that whole track. That's just my opinion. But Q-Tip definitely did his thing on that joint too. Track 3, Rap Promoter. Pretty much sort of about how these rap promoters be like shorting cats out of their money when they doing shows and stuff like that. You know, things like that. I'm pretty sure a lot of MCs have gone through that. You know, just these whack ass promoters that, you know, they just trying to front with the money, and then they end up like beating their ass and shit like that. You know. Track 4, Butter, pretty much a Five Dogs solo track. And he talked about how you know, his high school days, you know, and his high school days with girls, pretty much. He's talking about how, you know, he had kind of have a hard time. He had a hard time getting with girls, and then he gained confidence. He just became a Mac, and you know, he's just getting all these girls and stuff like that. Like he just got with girl after girl after girl, just not settling down. But then when he got into the rap game, you know, now all of a sudden all the girls be on his dick. Like in his first verse, he talks about how the girls were trying to give him any play, but then he got some sort of confidence, and he just became a Mac, and then he's screwing all these girls and stuff like that here and there, whatever. But then in the second verse, he talks about how like how girls used to be all good and stuff like that. Now they're all freaks, and how like as soon as he got put onto the game, he's a famous rapper now. Now they all want to act like groupies and shit, be on his dick and shit. And he's like, nah, fuck you. Like, who are you? Like, I didn't know you. Like, you wasn't trying to give me no play when I wasn't on. Now you want to be on my dick. You know what I mean? So, kind of not relatable, but that just goes with anything. Like, pretty much like girls being opportunists. Like, like if you got something going on, like whether you have like your own business or like you're making money, like a lot of money, now everybody want to be on your dick. And that goes with anything. That goes for niggas too. Like niggas that want to be on opportunists and shit like that. So that right there I can't respect. You know what I mean? But yeah. Track 5, Verses from the Abstract, very dope. Dope track right there. That's my phone's a text. With that song right there, it's just like a solo track, and then you hear a very young Vina Mojica. Everybody should know Vina Mojica. You guys, especially if you're into '90s hip hop, she's done a lot of songs. Like she's done stuff for like De La Soul, Helter Skelter. Things. Cats like that. Just doing like choruses and stuff like that. Very dope singer. I wish she made an album. And then you hear like Ron Carter, a dope jazz bass. He's like one of my favorite jazz bassists who's doing like the bass of the song and stuff like that. Very dope track right there by Q-Tip. Track 6, Show Business, is Q-Tip. Tribe Called Quest featuring Brand Nubian. Interesting fact with that song, you guys probably know this, some probably don't know. There's actually an original version of the song of Show Business called Georgie Porgy, and with that song, they actually same beat and everything, but different lyrics, and the subject matter was a bit different. And Diamond D wasn't on the song. It was just Brand Nubian and Q and a Tribe Called Quest. And with the song Georgie Porgy, it's just pretty much sort about it was had a homophobic lyrics pretty much, and of course they had to delete the song. Like they took it off the song, and rightfully so, because with Tribe Called Quest, with their image of who they are, it's just peace loving cats, but like just girl love, just like loving girls and stuff like that. It definitely would have dampened their career. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't been. They wouldn't have gotten the reputation that they got, like they have now. That makes sense. Like the image would have been kind of, you know what I mean? So rightfully so. I could expect that from like Brand Nubian because of who they are. I mean, that's not taking anything from Brand Nubian, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. But anyways, getting back to Show Business, it's pretty much sort of about how the industry is, saying like how the industry just do you dirty. They want you to do shit that, that you don't want to do, but you have to end up doing, stuff like that. That's what they talk about. Diamond D, like I said, is in that song too. So it's Brand Nubian and Diamond D on the track. So very dope song right there. Tracks 7, Vibes and Stuff. That's a Q-Tip solo track, and with that song, it's pretty cool because like he uses a lot of ad libs on the song. Like for example, like he says, "Time with the cat, going to the car, But his way of doing that is pretty cool. Like the way he did it. That's what I got from Vibes and Stuff. It's just him going off, but using a lot of ad libs and stuff. So because ad libs at that time wasn't really popular like that. It wasn't really common, if that makes sense. So that's what I got from this song, Vibe and Stuff. So just that. Track 8, Infamous Date Rape. It's just pretty much about girls getting raped, but the way they made it, but the way it is like how you get with a girl, you guys have consensual sex, but then all of a sudden she want to cry rape. You know what I mean? And that goes on a lot today. You get with a girl, you have sex with them, but then all of a sudden they want to call rape, and then it's their word against is like your word against theirs, and like usually the women usually wins. But luckily they've been cracking down on that, so yeah, I'm glad they did that. I'm glad, like, they cracking down on that, because it's fucked up, like, like, because you're a guy, and then, you just, trying to get lucky, you know what I mean? But you don't try to push yourself onto the girl, you know what I mean? You try to respect her, let her feel comfortable around you. Then you guys, do what you gotta do. But then you got some girls that try to just be on some, like, real grimy shit, just, like, try to take advantage of some dude, and then you call rape, you know what I mean? That's fucked up. I don't play that, but that's what it is. That's the song Infamous Date Rape. Track 9, Check the Rhyme, which I believe was the first single of the album, if I'm not mistaken. Check the Rhyme is just them going back and forth and stuff like that. Really love that joint right there. Five to me had the best verse in the whole album, in my opinion. In the whole song. To me, he shined in that song. Dope video too. You see them on top of on Linden Boulevard, for my Queens niggas out there. Just right on top of the laundromat. Dope video, stuff like that. You just see them in their whole neighborhood where they grew up at and stuff like that. Very dope. They definitely go in that joint right there. Track 12. Is it track? No, track 9. Track 10. Everything is Fair. That song was kind of confusing, because at first it sounded like he was talking about a girl, but then it sounded like he was talking about a car. I don't know. It was kind of weird. I couldn't figure out what that song was about. But I'm assuming it's talking about a girl. You know what I'm saying? That's what I got from that joint right there. Track 11, Jazz We've Got. I love that song. Very, very dope. But it has some controversy. And the reason why I say that is because for a couple of reasons. For one, there's been talk about how Pete Rock at one point, like, him and Q-Tip went digging and stuff like that. And I guess, like, Q-Tip, I guess Pete Rock had the record. He let Q-Tip hold the record, and Q-Tip found the sample, and then he made the beat out of that record and made Jazz We've Got. But then Pete Rock is saying, like, yo, I made that beat, but you really didn't. You just gave me the sample and I made the beat. You know what I mean? So there's been a lot of controversy towards that. And then another reason is because Phife Dawg, he had a line where he said, we make strictly hardcore tracks, not no New Jack Swing. And that was kind of like a swipe towards, R&B cats that's doing, like, New Jack Swing type of stuff, particularly Teddy Riley. And Teddy Riley made offense. He got offended by that line, and because of that, when he saw Q-Tip, he beat up Q-Tip. They got into a scuffle. And if you watch the video, Hot Sex on a Platter, you see Q-Tip in, like, a mask. And that's because of that line, because of what Phife said. So there was a lot of controversy towards that. So that was just the song Jazz We've Got. Love the beat for that shit right there. It's actually like my favorite song of the album. You know what I mean? That's another single as well. Track 12, Sky Pager. It was just to me paying homage to the beeper, because everybody before cell phones, you had a beeper. If you had a beeper, you was that dude. You know what I mean? Like, everybody had a beeper. What he was like, a cool dude. You were a doctor, a lawyer, a drug dealer and stuff like that. Anything like that. If you had a beeper, you was that dude. You know what I mean? So, track 13, What is a solo? It's actually a Q-Tip solo track, and it's a dope concept. It's like, it's kind of like why a what if type of songs. Like, for example, there was a line where he says, like, what is a war without a general? Stuff like that. But without the whole song, he's just saying what if, what this, what that. What is a car without wheels? Things like that. Just throughout the whole song. I'm just giving you prime example. I'm just giving examples of what the song entails. Like, what is bread without dough? You know what I mean? Like shit like that. You know, just you guys know what I'm trying to say. But throughout the whole song, he's doing some shit like that. Track 13. That's the song What, and the last song Scenario, which is pretty much a posse cut. Is just Tribe Called Quest featuring Leaders in the New School. Busta Rhymes definitely delivered to me. That song right there kind of launched, you know, Busta Rhymes' career. You know, even though they had Leaders in the New School, but to me, like that song is what put him out there. It's like what people wanted. People wanted more of Busta Rhymes and stuff like that. So, and then yeah, just that right there, man. It's a classic song, and that's it for the review. Definitely a classic album. Let me change the song. Like I said, my thoughts to the album, classic album right here. Everybody in the mother should own this album right here, even if you're not a fan of hip hop. You know what I mean? To me, with this album, like they kind of stepped their game up. It's both lyrically and production wise, because for what I understand, on the first album, you know, they didn't really have machines, like they didn't have drum machines like they did with this album. You could tell. But with the first album, they were just using like pause tapes and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? And you know, lyrically they were kind of like all over the place in a sense. You know what I mean? They were kind of like, on the first album they were more of like I said, they were all over the place. You know, there was just, the beats were like a little bit more melodic and stuff like that. With this album is like, you know, they were like Q-Tip was doing, like he did like all of the beats. You know, by that time I think he just got into SP1200, and you know, he's just doing a lot of drum programming and, you know, things of that nature. And you could tell, and then like lyrically they gotten a lot better compared to the first album. The beats are a lot more stripped down, a lot more darker, a lot more stripped. You know, very like stripped down, barred, you know, things of that nature. And that's pretty much it, man. You know, and I know some of you guys gonna probably ask me what album I like better, this album or mine, Midnight Marauders. It's kind of hard because they both, I really like both of those albums. If I had to choose, I'm just gonna have to say Midnight Marauders. It's just, to me, that album, I just love the production on that album. And like, you know, just hearing songs like, you know, Electric Relaxation on the radio back in the day. And you know, just that album right there, I already did a review on that album. But yeah, this album right here, it's like one of those albums that would never go out of print. So I highly recommend this album, even if you're not a fan of hip hop. Very, very dope. It's a fun album to listen to. You can never get bored with this album. You can listen, it's like one of those albums that you could listen without skipping a track. That's how dope the album is, man. But yeah, Low End Theory by Tribe Called Quest, released in 1981. It's the second album. Definitely pick it up. Definitely one of the best albums to come out in 1991. And that's it, folks. Stay tuned for more videos, more reviews, more beat videos, more rants. Stay tuned. Peace.